So one saying I've been thinking about a lot lately is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's very interesting looking back at my business. We've been in business for about 7 years now. And one big thing that I wish we would have done back when we first started is really create a mission statement and a core value statement, something that we didn't do probably till year 3, 4, maybe even 5, somewhere around there. But basically, our mission has really, propelled us into kind of the next stage of a handyman business. And I want to tell you guys a little bit of why that is. So first, let's start out with kind of how we established our mission. So it kind of goes back to about 2020. My wife and I took a personal class on how to basically establish like a vision, core values, virtues for your own personal family to like leave a legacy. And in this class, we really felt like we were called to be hope healers. That's the specific verbiage. And basically by using our past hurts, our past failures, and using that to bring hope to people so that they don't make those same hurts and failures that we made. So basically that's our kind of family mission statement, and we kind of turn that into our business mission statement, where our business mission statement is our mission is to bring hope for a better service, a better experience, and a better community. So that really helps in like a lot of different ways, specifically, figuring out which direction to go, whether we should do this or whether we should do that, whether we're talking about hiring an employee, firing an employee, buying a truck, moving into an office space. Is the question always comes back to, does this help our mission move forward? Does it help us bring hope to people? Does it help us bring hope for a better service, a better experience, or a better community? If it does one of those things, then let's go for it as long as it's within our bounds. It's very interesting, and I kind of got this idea from a video by Simon Sinek. I'll post that video link up here if you want to take a look at that. But it's really interesting because he talks about in that video, he calls it his golden circle, and it really establishes your why. And he says that, people don't buy what you do or what you offer, they buy why you do it or why you offer something. That is more important to people. And it's really interesting getting deep down into it. He talks about this law of diffusion of innovation, which is really interesting. And it's basically, people are kind of categorized in different categories along the way. And the biggest percentage of people are really the early majority and the late majority, which are not found at the very beginning. The first 2.5% are your innovators, I believe he calls it. The second 13% is the early adopters. So these are the people, these two categories are the people that will try your business, buy your service without necessarily having reviews, without necessarily, feeling you out. They'll kind of give you a shot, right? But to get to the 34% early majority, you have to have a good market penetration is what he calls it.
People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. Well, why is it important to attract those who believe what you believe? Something called the Law of Diffusion of Innovation. And if you don't know the law, you definitely know the terminology. The first 2.5% of our population are our innovators. The next 13.5% of our population are our early adopters. The next 34% are your early majority, your late majority, and your laggards. The only reason these people buy touch-tone phones is because you can't buy rotary phones anymore. We all sit at various places at various times on the scale, but what the Law of Diffusion of Innovation tells us is that if you want mass market success or mass market acceptance of an idea, you cannot have it until you achieve this tipping point between 15 and 18% market penetration.
And it's very interesting because if you say, oh, my closing rate is 10%, well, that's great. But he says that, you have to cross that chasm of 18% before you can get to that early majority, and you really open up to a whole nother category of customers in your business. And the way that I believe that you do this is through branding. You have to figure out what your core values are, you have to figure out what your mission statement is, and brand the heck out of it. And the way that you do that is basically by getting reviews. I think reviews is one huge way that you do it. Reviews are huge because reviews do one of two things for the mass penetration of the market here. For one, they establish kind of your dominance in the industry. So the more reviews that you get that are positive, that point back to your mission, the more people are going to adopt what you are doing. They're going to understand why you're doing something, and they're going to start hiring you for it. The second thing is they're kind of proof that your mission is working. So by getting more and more positive reviews of people that are using the verbiage that's actually in your mission statement, like we get reviews all the time like, this business has brought me hope because I've been screwed over by the last 5 handymen out there. That's fantastic because it tells me that we are going the right direction. We're making the correct choices. We are establishing what our mission stands for, and people are seeing that, which is fantastic. After you get those reviews, you need to use those reviews to your advantage. Now I talked about a cool video, or in a cool video a few days ago about a company called Nice Job. They are the company that I personally use for reviews. They have review campaigns, so basically once you're done with the job, they put the client on a drip email and text campaign, which sends them texts and emails in an effort to get a review. And it's really been cool because like in the last month we get about 1 or 2 reviews a day, which is absolutely fantastic. I've actually been working with Nice Job, and they hooked me up with a little deal. So there's a deal if you use the code down below in the link in the description. You can get a certain % off your first month. So definitely check that out. But reviews are huge, and then marketing those reviews. Another cool thing that Nice Job does is they send out all of your reviews onto social media. So obviously you can set the bar, if it's 4 stars or above, go ahead and publish it on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want. And that really gets your name out there and helps you kind of establish yourself as the brand that people should trust in the industry. So again, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's really important when you're talking about, okay, what do people buy and what do people want? And a cool way to figure that out is really, what would you want? Ask yourself, what would you want? Or what would your mom want? Or what would your grandmother want, right? So we have established a bunch of core values, and I would recommend that you do this as well, because we did this way too late in business. Establish a list of core values, professionalism, cleanliness, tidiness, on-timeness, whatever it might be, whatever's important to you. Establish those core values and really stick to them. So if you have a core value of professionalism, ask yourself, how can I be more professional? Even if you are already professional, ask yourself, how could I do better? Maybe ask your clients, say, hey Bob, I'm working on a core value list and I want to get better at this specific topic, whether it's timeliness, whatever it is, cleanliness. Bob, how can I do that? Like, you've seen me work, you've seen my crew work. How can we get better in this specific category? And just ask for some honest candor, and they will give it to you, and that'll help you improve. Another great thing about core values is when you are looking to grow with employees, you can, at day one, give them that list of core values as part of their job description. And they're and you go over it one by one with them. This is what is expected of you. You have them sign it. So if there's ever an issue down the road with cussing, smoking, tardiness, professionalism, whatever it is, you can, when you have that review talk with them, you can bring them right back to the core values and be like, hey, this is what we stand for. This is the kind of ethos that we want to push on to the client. And this is where you're lacking here. So what's going on and how can we improve that? So that's just something that's really been on my heart lately the last few days, is people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I'm constantly trying to figure out how we can do that. Now we have 6 employees. Our business looks a lot different than when I first started this thing out in 2017. So it's constantly changing, constantly evolving. So I wanted to share that with you guys, that's one thing that I would do if I could go back, is if you're just starting out, thinking about starting out, or maybe you've been in this thing for a few years and you have never established a mission statement and core values, I would highly recommend you go back and do that. And also watch the rest of that Simon Sinek video where he talks about the why, and he talks about the law of diffusion of innovation, because that guy is an absolute genius. This has been day 24 of our 100-day video challenge. If you guys like this and you are brand new to this challenge, go back and watch the first 23 days because there's some really cool content. Would highly recommend it. Also, tune in tomorrow for day 25. We got some great stuff we're going to be talking about. Have a good day, everyone, and we'll see you soon.